The Justice Department has disclosed that Wikileaks founder Julian Assange has reached a plea agreement with the federal government that will allow him to avoid any additional prison time and will also allow him to return to his native Australia. This deal is the culmination of a years-long criminal case that really became a matter of international intrigue and a real saga that played out across multiple continents. The U.S. government had been trying for years to extradite him to face Espionage Act charges. The hearing is taking place in federal court in Saipan in the Marianas Islands, and that's because of its proximity to Australia and because of Assange's opposition to traveling to the continental United States. This case relates to the distribution and disclosure by Wikileaks in 2010 of military and diplomatic cables from Army Private Chelsea Manning. And the allegation from the Justice Department is that Julian Assange effectively helped Chelsea Manning break into a government computer and solicited classified information that was then published. And from the perspective of the Justice Department, that's against the law. I think this deal was a recognition that this was a very complicated case that really straddled international borders. And I think that's one of the things that really makes this case kind of notable. This was never going to be an easy sell to a jury, and it was never going to be an easy sell to actually get him here from the United Kingdom.
Yeah, boy. We are back here on WLTH 1370 in the AM. Straight out of the cannon here with me. Yes. As you heard in the intro, Julian Assange, one of the few actual journalists in the world, is free now. Yes, he is a free man. Now, his freedom didn't come cheap. He had to plead guilty to a charge of espionage. He pled guilty to actually violating the U.S. espionage law at a trial in the U.S. overseas territory of Saipan in the Marianas Islands in a deal that allowed him to return to his homeland of Australia. Assange, who's 52 years old, was trying to avoid extradition to the United States since 2012. So he spent 12 years basically trying to not be extradited to the United States, and had been in prison in Great Britain after being arrested at the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he had sought refuge in 2019. While in prison, he fought extradition to the United States after being accused and conspiring to obtain and disclose classified U.S. national defense documents on whistleblowing website WikiLeaks. So basically, Julian Assange was arrested for doing journalism. Yes, journalism. He was arrested for doing journalism. And because most of our media, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, Fox News, are cowards who don't do real journalism, who only are basically stenographers for the deep state and the military-industrial complex, and our politicians, that's why that doesn't happen to them. And that's why you saw even a lot of strange bedfellows like Tucker Carlson and Rachel Maddow both coming out to defend Assange and say that he should be freed from custody. I'm happy for him, but I still believe that his arrest and his torturing for almost 12 years, where they tried to essentially wait him out till he died, is symbolic that, once again, our government and our media and all these people are complicit in maintaining these sort of corrupt institutions. And if you go against them at all, if you go against the corrupt institutions at all, then you basically you can look forward to being tortured just the same way that Julian Assange was. Basically, he is he exposed that the United States government had committed war crimes in Iraq. He exposed American soldiers laughing about blowing up and killing up innocent people. And at the time, the Democrats, the liberals, were celebrating Julian Assange. He's a hero because George Bush was in office and the war in Iraq was unpopular. But then he exposed that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats had rigged the primary against Bernie Sanders in 2016. And all of a sudden, all that love that the liberals had for him was gone. And at that point, he became the most hated man in the corporate media for, again, actually doing journalism. But if you want to know why he's so hated, this is why. This is why right here.
Because the goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal, i.e. the goal is to have an endless war, not a successful war.
Yes, endless war is the goal, not successful war. Remember that. They are not trying to win these wars. They just want the wars to go on and on. All of our wars, including what's going on in Ukraine, what we're dumping hundreds of billions of dollars into, or Israel, it is all money laundering. All of it. And Julian Assange exposed that fact, and so they tried to torture him to death in prison for doing journalism. So it is a good thing that he's out of jail, but still the fact that he had to plead guilty to espionage is troubling, you know, and I really think that, you know, we are going to have to fight that tooth and nail, all of us in the media here in the United States.